Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
If you've been hurt in a road accident that wasn't your fault, you should really talk to G4 Claims first. Unlike road accident solicitors, we don't charge you for our services, which could see you better off. To keep 100% of your compensation, have a chat with Nicole and the team. You'll be glad you did. Search online for G4 Claims.
Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sellik the Thunder podcast, episode 78. I don't know.
78 or 79 or something like that.
I was about to skip about 10 episodes there. I was about to say 88. Welcome to episode whatever it is. It's good to be back. Smiles on our faces on today's podcast. It's the first time. 79. It's the first time that we've been together since the events that unfurled on Sunday, which I'm sure we'll cover in great depth throughout this podcast. But a wee bit of a renovation in here today, boys. How are we liking the light?
Big fan.
Nice. It's making me look a wee bit slimmer.
I think I've got the same tan as Aaron Moy. I can see it. Lack of it, man. I'm pale as fuck.
The milk bottle tan.
I'm that anyway, so I don't need the big lights on me, you know what I mean? It's like
it doesn't help.
Paparazzi or something.
I can't even say anything because I'm the exact same, but I just feel like people are used to seeing me all the time anyway, so I don't think it comes off as bad, so hopefully I'm not as ghastly as some. Sorry, Ryan. Anyway, hello.
I just realised that. What's that mean? Ghastly?
Is that not what you would say for somebody with a
Listen,
pale
I've had people in the YouTube comments saying they're sticking up for me.
or pasty?
For bullying.
I've seen one
My man Mark, who sits near me actually at Celtic Park, he's sticking up for me, the big man.
I seen that comment last week and it was like the passive aggressive comments of Ryan or something like that. Well, mind your neck.
Never mind Tommy Fury, Jake Paul, man. It'd be me and you, the Celtic podcasting wars.
Why is Callum not in the middle? That Eddie Hearn sitting there. Anyway, we're losing track of things as we're minutes into the podcast. Hello and welcome back. The G4 Claim Studio is looking great, so thank you to them as always for having us. A few things to cover today ahead of tomorrow's game against St Mirren, which will be an interesting one, and I'm sure we'll come on to it because, as we know, St Mirren Park, the only venue in which Celtic have lost domestically this season, so a big task ahead of us. We'll come on to that later in the podcast. I feel like we should start with somewhat of a short recap on our experiences on Sunday, because wow, what a result. We done our preview show with four of us last week. Callum, we were all confident, you were confident, and the confidence paid off as Celtic walked out with the League Cup. How did you feel on Sunday?
It was just a different level. I mean, we've seen Celtic win countless trophies in our lifetime, but I think each time they come it just gets sweeter and sweeter, especially when you're playing that mob or the other mob.
The other mob, yes.
But I think obviously I was glad the fact that the team just sort of kept their head down, done the business and get it done up the road.
It was an impressive performance from the start for Celtic, I thought, Callum. I thought we in the first half especially, I thought we dominated them. I thought we didn't really give Rangers a look in. And I guess that's just one of those things that comes about from, we done our talking on the park, whereas they tried to hype themselves up before the game, and look where it left them come full time.
Definitely. I think the only chance that really comes to mind for him even is when Tavernier played across the box, but I mean Carter Vickers, solid as usual, comes across and blocks out Sakala. Other than that, I don't remember a chance for him really in the first half.
I know, I can't off the top of my head I think they had like one or two approaches into the area. They got a corner or something at one point, but Ryan,
that's all they had.
we were just brilliant throughout the first half.
We were.
I thought
we took 25-30 minutes to properly get our game going. I think Hatate and Moy were quite quiet at the start of the game, but we were retaining possession. Everything was fine, and then they started to get into their groove a wee bit. You seen Moy getting on the ball. Obviously Moy was pivotal for the first goal and the second goal. I actually came out from that game thinking him and Hatate were alright. Watched it again in the telly, I was like, these guys had an absolute blinder. It just goes to show you how much nerves get in the way of perceiving games, because I'm a nervous wreck going into those games. Like, I was confident even on the podcast, but on the way to the game, I felt physically sick because it was a cup final and it's a cup final against them, and that's just different. It's different. But I was really nervous before the game. But looking back on it, we absolutely dominated that first half, and we got the goal that we deserved right before half time, which is an absolute kick in the teeth for them, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it came at the right moment, didn't it? Because I feel like we did deserve it, but it lifted us into that second half like nothing. I mean, Callum, you seen it, you weren't there, but you would have even seen it from watching on television or whatnot. Just the way it carried us into the second half, the fans at half time, it was brilliant. I think it really just did spur us on to go and take the second goal as early as possible in the second half.
100%. I think you definitely seen the momentum it carried us straight through. Like, I think you could have asked any of the Celtic players and they said, no, we don't want the 15-minute break, let's just keep going now. The way it was, obviously seen like the videos of the celebration such for half time, it just like phenomenal.
It was.
That's what I was going to say. The Celtic players took a break for 15 minutes. The Celtic fans didn't. They were singing Celtic Glasgow for about 10 minutes after half time.
I'll be honest with you. Do you know what the worst part is? I wasn't actually in the bowl of the stadium as this was all going on.
Were you outside?
Of course.
I was outside as well. But I don't even smoke. I was
Aye.
just getting some fresh air. I met a couple of the guys that are sitting here at Celtic Park. Shout out to them. But we were all just kind of like,
but
in
even like outside as
you
well.
could hear it. Oh, it was absolutely
Even
deafening.
outside, everybody was like, you know, that's probably the most eventful cigarette I've had in my life. To be quite honest, I was just sitting there taking it all in as everybody was partying their way out to the.
There was confidence
the
though
outside
going
terrace.
into the second half. There was
Yeah.
we were like, the job's half done, yes, but we could go and get more goals here. I think we were just. Sometimes you're worried about how Celtic are going to play at Hampden. I've still got it in my head of all those terrible performances 10, 11 years ago. Looking back, I've always got that sort of mixed history with Hampden, but the way we were playing, we were using the part to our advantage. There was only one team playing football out there. Let's make that absolutely clear. I mean, have you seen that video of them just hoofing the ball?
Yep.
I tweeted out the other day it was hoofball v Ange ball. There was only one style of play, and in the end, that's what counted.
Well, that is what counted, and we are ultimately the side who walked out with yet another trophy. The Rangers fans are trembling. And they're
absolutely broken, and I'm loving it.
In their boots at the prospect of us overtaking them in the next couple of years. We said, and I don't know who all agreed with me. I was very cautious of saying it, but I have hinted at it, and I think I said something similar last week in the preview podcast. But I mentioned the fact that if Celtic did win on Sunday, that Rangers would collapse. And I didn't even necessarily mean on the pitch they're going to go and start losing games left, right and centre now, but what we have seen from the reaction in that side of the city is nothing short of a collapse. Everybody's to leave. Beale's even he's in a shaky peg. The board they're going through their 2021 that Celtic had. Never go full Celtic 2021.
Have you seen their tweets? Have you seen?
It's delicious. It's delicious, man.
It's come full circle, which is absolutely beautiful. And I will say that I've been petty enough to listen to a couple of their podcasts since that.
I'm not that bad yet.
No, honestly, if you haven't, please go and do it. It's absolutely hilarious. The meltdown that they are having in 90 minutes. Right, it's went from 90 minutes of that. Before the 90 minutes, it was we're equal to you.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this and that. The gap is mythical. Then after, full rebuild.
Yeah.
We've absolutely broken them in 90 minutes. And it was 2-1. It's not as if we went and scudded them. We'll wait and do that later on in the season.
I hope so, but we could have though, because we did have a couple of big chances towards the end of the game. Haksabanovic could have scored. Matt O'Reilly should have scored. Haksabanovic actually had a couple of chances that he could have tucked away. It could have been a very different result, but alas, 2-1 will do me. The reason that I wanted to start off by recapping last week, I know it's in the past now, and I know it's time to look forward and move forward. That's what I always like to do in this podcast. But the reason why is because over the past 24 hours, it's been funny watching the collapse because the Rangers manager has once again got Celtic on his mind. He should be on this podcast, shouldn't he? I think
he's got more to say about Celtic than some of us, I'd say.
I know. So he was out in the media today talking about the potential difficulties in catching up on a side like Celtic, saying that the money is the biggest difference and that the Celtic have invested more money or whatnot. His comments, I'll try and pick out a couple of them. In general, if you look at any league in the world, the team that spends the most is first. So we have to compete against the odds because we're not going to spend the most money. We're not going to recruit the finished product. So there's a lot of coaching, a little bit of patience and a lot of good work to go on. It's going to be a significant summer. There are no quick quick fixes, so the word patience comes out again. So yeah, money being blamed once again. I see you all chuckling. Give me your thoughts.
Karma's a bitch, isn't it? All that stuff they were doing in the 90s and 2000s with their EBTs, etc. I don't want to go down that road. I don't want to go full conspiracy. Well, that's not even a conspiracy theory. That did happen, but you reap what you sow at the end of the day. I'm loving every bit of this, and to anybody that says you get bored of winning all the time, I don't. I think a couple of seasons ago proved that not winning a single thing that season has made us all hungrier again. I mean, they've absolutely imploded on themselves after one game, and all the pressure is on them. Which will be today against Kilmarnock. Are they played today? Is it Kilmarnock at home? I think it is. All the pressure's on them. That's all of a sudden that's a bit of a nightmare scenario if they lose or drop points. But they probably will go out and win, but it's inconsequential if we go and just continue to do our job.
Callum, I'll read it again, one of the quotes. We have to compete against the odds because we're not going to spend the most money. I've got quite a complex job here at Rangers, as I'm going to need to change a squad with not huge finance. He seems like a guy who has a different excuse every single time they come short or just something goes wrong or Celtic's on top. I feel like it's just he's probably running out at this point.
I think it's very much looking like a case of the Scottish Jurgen Klopp. I think it's just any excuse you can get out there. I think it's not as if this is just sprung on them in terms of the finances. Surely if he had half a brain, he would have asked that before he took the job. This kind of stuff that you need to look into as a manager. If he's thought to himself, oh, go and take that, he just wanted to come in and be the next Rangers man. And everything that's happened, as McGinley said, comes a bitch.
And I seen a tweet earlier on. I wanted to read it out, and obviously I need to fact check and all the rest of it. But shout out to a one Ryan Clifford who tweeted this. He said that Rangers have a higher wage bill than Celtic. Matondo, Yilmaz, and Davies all cost more than Celtic's starting midfield in the cup final. And then obviously with the reports from last season and last year and their financial reports, they reported that they made tens of millions, more share issues around the club as well. Yet apparently they can't compete financially.
They're miles better than every other team in the league, though, apart from us. So if you can, the thing is, it's all about beating the teams around you as well as beating Celtic. They didn't do that for the first half. It's all self-inflicted. They lost against St Johnstone. They dropped points against, was it Dundee United? They dropped points. I'm trying to think back.
There's been a few times. Obviously, I can't think off the top of my head. You know,
I know they've dropped points in games. Ross County as well. I mean, in the league, they've got the same record as us. I don't even know where I'm going with this. Basically, I'm enjoying this implosion that's happening just now.
You've keep going with what you're saying. Keep going. Going. No, because I've got something. You've used a word there that I wanted to bring up something to do with it, but just keep going. I'll bring it up in a second.
I've got nothing else to say, mate. I'm needing your help here.
You used the word implosion.
Yeah.
Remember September of 2022, Celtic had just lost to St Mirren with a wee rocky patch of form to some, and the word was used by Mr. Hugh Keevins that Celtic were imploding. And look
Celtic are imploding.
Look where we are now. I think it's stupendous. And at the end of the day, boys, we can talk about Beale and he can talk about Celtic as much as he likes. Reality is, we're a cup up. We're on track for a very successful season, a potential treble winning season, and things just keep getting better and better at Celtic. And if we just focus on what we're doing, all the trajectory suggests that we're going to be enjoying this for a long, long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Callum, any particular standouts? We'll kind of finish off on talking about the cup final, but any particular standout, not just performances, but just conversation that's kind of came off from the back of Sunday that you would like to?
I think it was a lot of folks saying the starting exercise between the two, and seen a fair few folks saying, the only one that begins Tavernier at right back. I think after that performance for Johnson
he was brilliant.
On Sunday, the boy was absolutely solid. He's immense. I mean, touch area would the way this season goes, he could match, if not better, James Tavernier's trophy record in 6 months?
That's right. 6 months versus 6 years?
7 years roughly.
And they could already match it.
I tell you, the criteria to get in our Hall of Fame must be incredibly low. Or theirs, I mean, what is it? 2 trophies has gotten him, and a career that's just basically stat padding. I mean, if you get enough penalties, you will get that amount of goals. Yes, he's a good free kick taker, I know that. the amount of practice he gets in penalties. I mean, he still does miss a fair few as well, but if that's the case, Jeremy Toljan, Moritz Bauer, Neil Jeremy Frimpong, they're all going to be in the Hall of Fame. They're going to get some amount of...
Paul Telfer in as well,
Absolutely.
Christian Gamboa.
Absolutely.
It's a list of right backs to go into our Hall of Fame at this rate. It's fantastic. Listen,
You've got to enjoy this as a Celtic fan. This never gets boring for me.
No.
During the so-called banter years, I loved every bit of it, and I'm loving this now as well.
it makes it even better because that 1 year that they thought everything had changed, and it's not. It's fucking.
It was just an
fantastic.
absolute anomaly when you look at it. I mean, there was no. What did they win the league by? 25 points. That's just mythical. I mean, I know we didn't start the next season well under Ange. It took us a wee bit to get into things, but there was never a 20-25 point gap between the two sides.
No.
If anything, us losing the 10 was the worst thing that could have happened to them, because it focused us to rebuild and refresh the whole team. Now they're going to need to do the same, and I don't even know if their fans are as convinced that they can do as good a job as we have.
I would be stunned if they could do anywhere remotely close to the job that
They don't have the contacts that we do.
Oh well, we'll have to wait and see. It's a big summer, as Michael Beale said, but as I said, we just need to keep focusing on our trajectory because it is going well. So that was Sunday, and we've obviously got a couple of things to talk about before we'll preview St Mirren in a moment. Off the back of Sunday, there's obviously been a lot of conversations in regards to players and moving forward and yada. I think we've got a couple of questions that will cover some of that as well. So we may as well just jump into the halftime quiz just now, get that done and out the way, and then we can preview St Mirren in depth and talk about what was a banana peel game for Celtic back in September. So today, our good friend Kieran, who was he was famously pictured. Did you see that?
I did see that. Aye.
Famously pictured on Sunday. That's twice. It happened at Livy away as well when Jota was celebrating with the grannies and he was.
I did see that. He's some man. He gets about, doesn't he?
He's on the telly more than mine, man. Right, who's that tick is today's halftime quiz? Ryan McGinley, no peeking at the laptop.
I didn't look. I've been looking straight ahead. I was just actually thinking, we need to get Rihanna to do a cameo or something. I know she'd never do a cameo. I mean, like the cameo, like the video message service rather than an actual come in. Right, guys. But I don't know if she'd do that. For who's that chick, but who's that tick?
Well, funnily enough, my podcast.
Get Ellie Dixon to do it.
My podcast for uni, the uni modules actually. Who's that tick?
Aye.
So I'm going to have to try and phone her somehow, get a hold of Rihanna. Like, listen, then. Right,
love that.
Come on. Right, anyway, it's time for the halftime quiz. It's going to be Callum against Ryan McGinley because today I've actually been competing in one of the quizzes.
That's it.
So I'm finally glad to be getting.
Why am I getting trusted again with the quiz?
Aye.
I'm absolutely awful at reading them out. It's just the pressure it gets to me, unfortunately.
Aye. Right, Callum, I'm going to let you choose if you would like to go player A or player B for today. I think that there's one that's I think it's a tough one today on the part of both players, but I certainly think there's one that's a bit easier.
Take player B.
You're going player B, right? Okay, so you've got a clue to kick you off for this today. The clue is players who have played a competitive game for Celtic but have won the Scottish League Cup with another team. So there you go. There's your quiz clue for today.
I looked up a player that done both of them today because I was doing another quiz.
Oh my, you're definitely getting.
So we'll see.
You'll see. Right, McGinley, are you ready for your
I'm ready.
player? Right, so player A, he joined Celtic from the Celtic youth. He was at Celtic the whole time. So Celtic youth to the Celtic main team, and he left. I think you're smiling because you know who you're getting.
I think I looked him up today.
He left Celtic to join Ross County.
Jackson Irvine.
That's Jackson Irvine.
That's the because I get sent one of those. You ever seen those noughts and crosses? But it's for the teams. And Jackson Irvine was one of them.
Oh, there you go. Well, Jackson
Irvine. He won it with Ross County, didn't he?
Yes, that's correct. So
at Celtic Park.
No,
was that the year after?
The League Cup was won by. I know United won the Scottish Cup, didn't they?
It's Aberdeen or something, or Inverness.
I think it was maybe Aberdeen. I'm not sure though. Anyway, joined Celtic from the youth team in 2012. I think he made the graduation. And he left Celtic to join Ross County permanently in 2015, and made 36 appearances for the Staggies before moving on to Butler Albion.
Full-time good-looking bastard, that's what he is.
Yeah, he was that photo at the World Cup that stole the show, didn't it? Right,
Plays for St Pauli now.
that's right, captain.
Wow.
Captain of
He's
St
been
Pauli.
scoring a few recently.
He has.
He's got a
I've
good
seen,
record, aye.
seen the odd tweet here pop up here and there. Right, Callum, are you ready for yours?
Not really, but might as well just get it done.
Was that the difficult one I got, or was it?
No,
Not?
it's
Right, okay.
Callum's face. Yeah, I knew you were going to pick player B as well. I don't want to give you a clue. Right, Callum, your player joined Celtic from Livingston, and he left Celtic to join Dundee United. And to make it a wee bit easier, he joined Celtic in 2002 from Livingston and left Celtic to join Dundee United in 2005.
Fuck me. No, that's going to be a total.
Mate, I wouldn't get it in the month for Sundays. He made 11 appearances for
I know
Celtic.
this
I
is. I
have
think.
no chance at it then.
Yeah, 11 appearances. You get getting up, aye.
I had no chance of that.
Is it David Fernandez?
It's David Fernandez.
Fuck, same thing. I couldn't hear a month for Sundays. And
Wouldn't I got it in a million years? A wee bit just before my time, ever so slightly, and he didn't play enough for me to, be on the top of my head.
Injury ravaged him completely.
Yeah.
He was quite highly rated, but he just never really got that run of games that he needed.
Yeah. So he ended up winning the League Cup with Livingston before he joined Celtic in 2004. And obviously won the first division there as well, being promoted or whatever part of the pyramid they were in at that point. With Celtic, he was part of the runner-up squad in Seville, and he won he
was on the bench,
runner-up in the League Cup as well that one season. So there you go. That's the two for today. A quick one. We
shoot it in, man.
again, I could have been wasting so much time. I still wouldn't have got it.
Oh,
So.
aye, exactly. Right, okay, let's preview the game tomorrow then, because I suppose that's the biggest part. It's St Mirren versus Celtic at St Mirren Park. Callum, we lost there earlier in the season in what was, at the time, a very sore one to take, because things were still kind of close at the time between Celtic and Rangers. Celtic had obviously lost, not lost, but it felt like we lost against Shakhtar the midweek in Poland. It was just a very kind of weird time, and people were kind of counting us down and out, but now we're in a very different place, and it's the sort of game you'd expect Celtic to go and get the business done.
Yeah, you would definitely think so. I mean, even obviously St Mirren, I think, not being the best run of form recently, obviously they've went down a wee bit, but you would like to think that we go strong as possible just now, especially off the back of a cup win.
Yeah.
You carry the momentum through, and you'd like to think we go into the 3 points.
I think that the 3 points is obviously the priority, to carry on, Ryan, from that victory in the League Cup, to just show it's still business as usual to the end of the season, game at a time, and hopefully we can see maybe Rangers slip up, but it's just about our games.
Yeah, I don't really expect them to slip up, to be honest. It'd be funny if they did, but I don't think it will. By the time this is out, it's probably already happened or in the process of happening. St Mirren Park is the only stadium that Ange hasn't won at as Celtic manager in terms of domestic, because we only got a draw. Remember, it was a COVID ravaged sort of St Mirren team.
Right.
It was nothing each. That was after.
That was a horrible game.
Also after a League Cup final as well. That was the Wednesday after the Sunday. I remember because I had COVID at the time after that game, and I was watching it upstairs, and it was absolutely dreadful. My dad kind of knew the result 2 minutes before I did, because there was a bit of a delay in the stream. I was like, why am I still watching this? Ange won't be talking about going out and getting revenge. He doesn't work like that with the players. It's just all about the next game. But he'll be desperate to sort of make things right, because earlier on in the season, I don't think he'll make as many changes as he did that day.
I wanted to break. This is what I wanted to read out next. The back four that started that day: Tony Ralston, Stephen Welsh, Moritz Jens, and Greg Taylor. That was the back four. And I remember at the time, Callum, so many people were on Welsh's back after that game. Do you remember? He had a bit of a stinker that day. It's good that we're now going in with probably Vickers, Starfelt, etc. That's the advantage, obviously.
Definitely, I think that must have been one of the first few games that we then missed Carl Vickers in, obviously with injury. So obviously I think that was definitely the big point, because we'd seen how defensively sound we were with him there.
Yeah.
So when you seen Welsh, I think everybody has always been a wee bit iffy Welsh, with Welsh, sorry. But I think that game just sort of rounded it off for him in terms of not so much his Celtic career, but for that point, yeah.
I know, because we've not seen him feature that much since, have we? I can't think of many times we've seen him play.
A couple of sub appearances here and there.
Maybe.
I'm sure that was his last start, actually.
I think,
Wow.
He's totally out the picture now. I think I mean, you look at Jens is probably the better out the two, and he get punted away. Yep. So I don't know about Welsh. It's a weird one. I think he'll probably assess his options in the summer, and I think for the best of his career, he needs to move on, whether that be on loan or permanently. I was wondering if he was maybe going to get a loan deal back in January there, but nothing came to be.
I think with Jens maybe leaving, it was probably smart to keep him around because you don't just. I know we brought in Kobayashi, but just have three. There
was that worry at the time with Carter Vickers that there was an injury going about.
Yeah,
that was nothing. I think that was Simon Ferry that actually tweeted that out or someone. I said that, but he was fine for the next game. He was in the training videos, so all good. But no, 3 out of the 4 of them won't start.
Yeah, and do you know what? I've got a faith. I've got faith for this game. Do you know why? More faith than the last time. Because I'm in the country. I was in Santa.
So you influence these games.
I was in Santa Ponza for that game, and we were watching it in the bar. Rough, horrible experience to be honest, watching that performance for the pub. But I have got this horrible thing about watching the games abroad. I've seen us lose too many times. Had a couple of good ones. We watched in Maga. We obviously watched us beat Kilmarnock 6-0 at the start of the season. That was fine. That was good. But I watched Hearts beat us abroad. I watched them St Mirren beat us abroad. There was another league game we lost abroad.
Worst one for me.
And then there was a European defeat abroad at Athens as well. So I've not had the great luck.
I can go one further with abroad. Bloody Red Imps, Lincoln Red Imps. I watched that in a pub. I was like, wait, this is going to get better. We're going to score here.
Aye.
No, wait, we're not going to score here. Oh my God, that was Roger's first game too. You're like,
I hope you won in Gibraltar.
No, I don't know. I was on one of those planes heading out after it, man. No, it's just your luck in it. But I prefer being in Scotland as well, watching the games.
Yeah, one of the players I want to talk about going into this game against St Mirren is Sead Haksabanovic, because there's been a lot of praise for him on Twitter this week after his off the bench performance on Sunday. A lot of people calling for him to get a start. Do we think he'd start on Sunday? I personally, everybody knows I manifested his move to Celtic for years. I wanted it to happen, but I don't think he's quite there yet. But I'd love to see him get a lengthy performance, Cal.
Definitely, I think as you said, everybody's been sort of full of praise after Sunday, and rightly so. I mean, when he came on, we did see obviously he's unlucky not to get at least a goal or two, especially the second chance when he's cleaned through. You think, oh, he'll finish this. But no, it definitely would be good to see him get a bit more game time. I think it's that injury that really sort of done him a bit, because we've seen he was definitely coming onto a game, then that injury halted him, and not really seen up to full speed just yet.
You're always a big fan as well of Hacks.
Absolutely.
Ryan, you were waxing lyrical on Twitter after the game and such. How much would you like to see him get a big chance?
I think it could be his chance on Sunday. I don't think there needs to be too many changes from the team. I'd obviously like to see your main men like Jota, Hatate, McGregor in the team. I don't want that Turnbull Moy thing that I seen last time we played there. There's not enough movement in that midfield for me there. If there's two players that I do want to see, and I think there's more chance of seeing one than the other. I think there's more chance of seeing Haksabanovic, but I'd like to see more of a Wata as well.
Yeah.
Although I don't know how much this game would maybe fit him. I think it's better if we have McGregor sort of bombing on forward. I mean, you could play him further forward, but I think his real tests will be next season when we go into the Champions League, hopefully. But I do want to see Haksabanovic on Saturday. It might be a better game for him because we're going to be playing against a packed defence. We need someone to unlock it. And Haksabanovic can certainly do that with his tricks. It's all been about timing with him because he was I think he was November Player of the Month or something.
He was.
He done the press conference. I remember because I don't know if it was us that done it. Actually, did we speak to him?
Might have. I didn't. I know that. Maybe.
I don't know if I done it. I might have done it anyway. I remember watching it either way. He must have got injured in training the next day, and then the timing was terrible, so he was already out the team. That coupled with the fact that Maeda's been playing out his skin for about 3 months, it's not helped him at all. But I just want to see him be more involved. I mean, I wanted him to get more than 5 minutes on Sunday, but even in those 5-10 minutes, he was so effective. And Goldson's probably still having nightmares over him.
That's the thing I love about the fact that it's good to see him come off and give those. I think he's in one of the positions there that you must be so frustrating as a player, just waiting for that break. But yet, every time he does come on, he's getting 100%. He's not that you'd expect him not to, but he's just giving it 100%. He's proper wanting the chance, and I think he's just waiting patiently for. He knows that opportunity is going to come back, and that's the thing. you know, we're in a position where obviously during the week conversations have came up about Abada's contract. Jota is someone who's going to catch the eyes of many. Maida is probably catching the eyes. He was linked with a move to Southampton. So Hax's chance is going to come. You know, he's signed a long-term
5 years.
contract. You know, it's going to be all fine and good. Hopefully we'd get to see a bit of him against St Mirren. He did actually come off the bench with about half an hour to go the last time we were at St Mirren Park, but alas he couldn't force it.
Is that when he was fighting the ball boy almost?
I think it was.
God, that was a while ago.
It feels like an eternity, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel like the same season?
Because of the World Cup, it feels like 2 different seasons.
Aye.
Which is great because we've beaten both of the Rangers as managers, which is absolutely brilliant.
Right, so we'll quickly dance through our starting 11 predictions then, because as you said, Ryan, I don't think there'll be many changes from the side that took on Rangers on Sunday. So the side that took on Rangers on Sunday, I'll read out and you can tell me if you think there's any changes. Joe Hart and goals, of course.
Absolutely.
Back four of Johnson, Vickers, Starfelt and Taylor.
The only one maybe is Ralston for Johnson. I don't know.
Maybe.
If he's ready. I think if there isn't changes on Sunday, we have the opportunity to do so on the Wednesday because we've got Hearts.
Oh, that's right, of course, aye.
Which will feel like a proper homecoming because it's the first time the team have been at Celtic Park since we've won the cup.
Aye.
So that'll be a really good night. It's Hearts, you know.
I forgot about that.
Hearts games are always massive. It's always one of the ones. That and Aberdeen, you look forward to those games when they come around. And then we've got Hearts on the Saturday as well in the Scottish Cup.
But
So
would you give Ralston a chance this weekend or stick with Johnson, Cal?
I personally would rather stick with Johnson, but at the same time I wouldn't be opposed to sort of switch them out just to give them that wee bit of rest and a wee bit of rotation as well. But preferably I'd go with Johnson.
Right, okay, so that's the back four that we're sticking with then.
I'd go with Johnson.
Right, okay. Midfield three that started at the weekend was of course McGregor, Moy and Hatate. Do we see a change?
Probably put O'Reilly in there.
Yeah.
Although Moy was great, so it's one of these things again. I don't mind who plays because they seem to be doing a job regardless of who comes into the team. The only thing is Hatate's got to play. Hatate and McGregor. It's Hatate, McGregor and somebody else.
Cam, I seen you nodding your head there. Do you agree?
Definitely. Obviously, I'd made the point for Moy to start in the derby game.
You were right. You were the only one out of four.
Absolutely.
But I think I would like to see that wee bit of rotation, see O'Reilly back into the team now. I think it's because it is going to be one of the games where we are just constantly pressing towards that defensive back line.
Aye.
So it would be nice to have a player like O'Reilly in there that we know he's got that wee bit in him that can unlock defences.
He's got a killer. Same with Moy. Both of them have got a killer pass on them, so that's always useful when you're against these kind of sides.
O'Reilly's shooting though, man.
Ah,
So hit and miss. He's so
I know,
annoying.
it's
What
weird,
that
isn't it?
that was
It's
a
weird.
terrible shot he took.
Oh, it actually been
How did he even manage to
listen,
put the
no,
ball there?
no
I know.
negatives,
I know.
no negatives. Let's not
He
get
should
carried
have
away.
scored. Come on.
Let's not get carried away. So then the front three, where there is potential room for change to the three that started, Maida, Kyogo and Jota, of course, was the three that started at Hampden last week. Do we see change amongst the Haksabanovic praise, the Abada conversations? Callum, what was your front three?
As much as obviously again you don't really want to change a winning team, but part of me will be opposed to seeing Abada dropping back into the team. I think it's just to sort of mix it up a bit and give it something different. I think there was points on Sunday, Jota, he did look his usual self, but then there was a couple of points he was annoying me with that final ball.
Aye.
It was one, I think it's the first 10 minutes Johnson plays a brilliant ball down the line and behind. You know, it's just a simple ball to square it to Kyogo and he somehow like fluffs his lines up. I think I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him drop just for this game, bring Abada back in.
Yeah. Ryan?
I'm kind of mixed about Abada, I'll be honest. I don't know how much that is due to the fact that he didn't sign a new deal.
Who cares?
I know. He's still get tons of time when he's
Yeah,
gone.
man.
I know. He's so hit and miss for me because I know how good Abada can be. I don't even think I was saying this in another podcast today. Actually, I said I don't even know if he's a winger. I think he's more of
I think you've said this exact thing like 17 times on this
I know,
podcast.
it feels like
I feel like I've heard you say it
No,
before.
I'm just repeating myself. It's the
An inside forward, that's what I always say.
He is just an inside forward.
You definitely have, because every time
No,
you
I
like,
do, I'm
don't
just
think he's
repeating
a winger,
myself.
And I go, an inside forward.
I just copy and paste.
Like
Like
we're playing fucking FM or something.
I know. Assign it to the assistant manager.
Aye.
No, I think it's going to be Jota, Kyogo and somebody else.
Okay.
Whoever out of Maida and Haxa.
I'm going to give Haxa the nod, mate. Haxa starting.
I'll give it to. Yeah, I want it to happen.
Gotta go for the Haxa start. Right, that was our 11
Definitely
start
Kyogo up front.
Yes.
Aye.
I think he's just... Once again, I sound like a broken record saying it. I know that Ange just said nobody's undroppable, but Ange, let's be fucking real, mate. He's undroppable at the minute, man.
He's a Kyogo fanboy, isn't he? He loves him.
He's just that he's been playing that well that you can't justify dropping him. Like, because every game's a big game. It's not like, we're not playing Alloa away in the cup. No offence, Alloa. Like,
thank God.
Don't
need another player injured.
So he's just undroppable, I think, at the moment. Right, well, score predictions to finish it off.
3-0.
3-0.
3-1.
3-1. I'm going to go for 2-0 to Celtic. But as long as we win,
Anyone?
I'm not that fussed. So that's basically the main chunk of the podcast. We've kind of alluded to a couple of wee stories that popped up here and there. The Abada contract stuff, the Israel manager. Callum, I don't know if you've read much into it. I done my video yesterday, so I don't really want to rehash my points, but I think it's mounting at a molehill stuff. I don't think he's not said anything that we didn't already know, and with 3 years left in his deal, it's not that big a story, I think.
I think once we start running into the last year of contracts for folk, I think that's when it's maybe a wee bit, not worrisome, but that's when you start to say, right, maybe we'll start getting pen to paper now, just to tie him down. But as you said, 3 years, and he's still very young as well, so plenty of time.
Technically 3.5 years as well, it's not even 3 yet, 3.5 years.
Plenty of time left on him.
Aye. Ryan, you kind of touched on it a wee bit more negatively, but...
Sorry. I'm just a realist. I'm like, I'm at that point that I'm not really, would you call it, attached to players as I was. That 2021 season killed me with that.
Let's be fucking real. He's not going to be here in 2026.
No, he won't be. No, absolutely not.
He's going to be here in 2026.
He's one of these players that's obviously grown up with the Premier League. I could see him in the Premier League. He gives me that vibe of his pal down south, Manor Solomon's doing so well for Fulham at the moment. He's banging them in. I mean, Abada could do that.
Oh, aye, absolutely.
I think he's a bit of a rough. He's a bit of a rough diamond. There's still some development to do, and I think he'd be better off doing his development here than somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's just got to bide his time. He will get games.
Aye.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Though you always think, Abada should be playing, and then
he's made more appearances than anybody in the squad this season. Do you know
it's crazy, isn't it?
Man, 37 appearances. The only player tied with him was Matt
O'Reilly.
I mean, granted, I think about 20 odd of them have been for the bench, but
were you listening to the Super Scoreboard
quiz?
No, that was in a quiz.
That was mentioned.
Aye. No, I was doing all my research on my video yesterday.
Love that.
So I just had it in my
brain. Noggin.
Just same as last season as well.
Aye.
Him and Joe Hart tied for joint top appearances.
He puts in so much.
But it's just
he never gets left on the bench. He's either playing or he'll come off the bench. He'll always play,
exactly.
Which shows you that Ange trusts him. But just get that contract sorted.
Has he, since he's joined, has he been out with injury at any point, like lengthy? I feel like he's just been constantly fit as well.
If he has, it's been maybe 1 or 2 games at most, because it's not anything that I can really think of. He's always been present. That even when the squad was depleted, Abada was playing up front. If Kyogo was out, Abada was playing up front, or he was playing out wide with Juranovic or whatever. He's always been available, and thank God for that.
Aye. Right, well, I guess we may as well just move on to Twitter questions.
Juranovic's comments as well.
Oh, aye. So what was it? He was saying he was sad.
He was sad, and he was surprised that we went and signed a right back. But he didn't sign a new deal.
Yeah.
And he's 27, going on 28.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I think we've upgraded anyway, I'll be honest. That's
the knee-jerk reactions.
It's knee-jerk, but Juranovic didn't put that sort of... Well, I mean, he did at the 3-0, actually.
Aye, behave yourself. Just because he's gone, you don't need to slate him, mate.
I'm not slating him.
Yeah.
I just think AJ is a better fit in this team.
Listen, I don't...
Also, because I got a picture with him as well, so, I get a picture with Juranovic. Where are you, Joseph?
Callum, have you kept up with Juranovic since leaving Celtic? Have you seen how good
the only thing I've seen was obviously getting a goal and an assist on it against Ajax. Quite happy for him for that, but he's moved on now.
So that's just leaving it past that. That's all you can do, really.
You loved him at Celtic, didn't you?
I did love Juranovic. I did.
You're just wiping your hands on him now. That's it. He's away.
Listen, at the end of the day, there's very few players that come and go at Celtic in this day and age that genuinely pain me to think about. Like Dembele, he was that kind of guy for me. And then when Dembele left, it's kind of took me... I've not had a love... Maybe Haxa now. But I've not had a love for a player that I had for Dembele since he left. Now, everybody that comes in, they need to be proper special to me for it to be like, love really hurts without you. You know what I mean? Like Billy Ocean. Like, because I accepted that Edouard was never going to be here long.
Yeah.
I accepted that Ayer was never going to be here long. I knew Dembele wasn't, but he was special.
He was
special. You know
I
what I mean?
also feel like there was unfinished business. He was only there for what, 2 seasons,
Yeah.
just under 2 seasons. I think for me, if and when Hatate leaves, that'll be a sore one for me because this boy is just he's rocking my world.
Different gravy.
He just is, isn't he? He's just so good. Did you watch that video that I posted? The 9 minutes. Is it the elegance of
I'm
View
not watching it and
Hatate?
it's 9 minutes long.
It's just all of Hatate's touches, all his like assists and goals. Phenomenal. Football pornography, honestly.
Don't drop that word on this podcast.
We swear all the time.
Terrible. There's mothers that watch this.
Aye, my mum. My mum actually does. Aye, mum.
Your boy's watching porn.
Oh no.
Porn he's watching. See when you hear the door going at night and it's shut and it locks, you know what he's up to.
Imagine if you asked me I'm like this.
Oh,
It's not true.
You're a big boy.
Am I?
Right. Well, what age are you?
Fair.
For fuck's sake, you're older than me. You're a pensioner, in my eyes.
I know.
Oh, mate. It's my birthday next week.
Age you 23?
Oh, horrible. Horrible, man. You know, I guess
bastard, man.
You're lucky. You've just turned 22. You've got a full year of singing Taylor Swift. I'm done. It's me. Right.
Nobody likes you when you're 23. I mean,
Is that a
you
fact?
get no.
They'd have
I
liked you
made-
89.
No, but that's the thing. There's a nice story. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22, and then Blink 182 are bringing out Nobody Likes You when you're 23.
What's that about?
I know.
Nasty,
It's
that.
like beef with Travis Barker and that.
Yeah, I'm on this fucking podcast. Right, Twitter questions. Let's get into them.
I need to get them up first.
Right, I've got them here, don't worry.
All right.
It's fine, I've got them here. Right, Cal is first in. Cal, we'll start with you over there. Is renewing Moyes' contract this summer straightforward, or do you think he'll want to move on?
Nah, I think he's fairly settled here. I mean, his missus is from here as well, and I think she's fairly settled. I think, I'd imagine he'd like to probably see his time out here, I think.
Do you hear any gossip in the shop?
No, sadly no, I've not had much. The only thing we had was obviously the new kit and such been leaked, but thankfully that was JD and not Celtic.
No, don't blame Cal. Listen to him. Now, what your opinion? I think Moyes settled.
I think it's a no-brainer to extend it for a year.
Yeah.
I know we've got the option to extend it, so I think that will just be one of those things you just trigger, and that's us.
It's always a weird one because I never want to assume someone's personal life as if I know him, like I talked to him about it, but this just seems too perfect for him not
Absolutely.
to kind of finish up here.
Yeah.
You know, just see out the rest of his career. As I said, as Cam said, his missus is for here. I don't know if they've got kids or anything, but like, you know, it's probably handy. And like, he's lived a lot of his life in England anyway. He's only up the road, you know, he played for Man City for a very young age, so he's probably lived here for the last, 10, 15 years. So it just seems suitable.
He played for St Mirren
Exactly,
as well.
aye, that's where he met his missus, isn't it? So
That was only a loan deal, wasn't it?
for
Was it a loan deal?
Man City, aye. I'm sure
Was
it
he
a loan.
always at Man City? Because I thought they
think
signed
so.
him,
I
and then
think- I don't
when
know.
he went to Huddersfield,
I'll tell you right now. I think that he was in the City.
so I'm sure he went to Melbourne City.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right, actually. He joined City in
Was it
2016.
Bolton?
Aye, you're
Was
right.
it?
You're
Oh, he
right.
was actually at St Mirren permanently. Wow,
Oh, wow.
I didn't even realise
Wow.
that.
So he was at Bolton when he was young then. There you go. He's at Bolton since 2006. So he's probably quite happy up here, you know.
He's winning. I mean, that'll only be his second medal in his career. That one on
Aye,
Sunday. So
madness, eh?
I mean, you can get all the money that you like in this.
What's the other one? The Asian Cup with Australia?
They've been playoff it. Oh, well, we've got that as well. But I mean, in terms of like
Oh, aye,
club
playoff final. Aye.
playoff final with Huddersfield.
Does that really count?
Aye, because you get a trophy.
So I always find that. Do you know? Do you
The
think
runners up don't get a trophy.
What about second place? I know. We'll just start finishing fucking third. Right. Ali J statue when, says Reese.
Ali G. I don't know if that's going to catch on. I just prefer AJ.
I call him Ali J on the FM all the time.
Really?
Aye,
do
aye,
you have specific names you call the players?
No, not really. Just kind of the real life. Like, I call Greg Greggy all the time.
GT3.
Like, Greggy, Ali J. My pal Jai hates that I call CCV Vickers.
Aye.
I just call him Vickers.
You don't call Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain Alex Chamberlain.
I know, but
Oxlade-Chamberlain's his whole name.
But Vickers just rolls off the tongue.
Aye, but it's wrong.
I know, but I just do it.
Cameron Vickers.
But I don't.
How wrong does that
No,
sound?
I don't say Cameron Vickers. I just say Vickers.
Aye, exactly.
He's
Disrespect.
These fucking pieces. It's a game.
Alex Chamberlain.
Take your halfway there.
Ruben Cheek.
Ruben Cheeks.
Listen to how terrible it sounds. Or Ruben Loftus. It just sounds so empty.
Alright, that Ruben Loftus.
Ruben Loftus. Sounds like a philosopher or something.
Anyway,
It's got to be Carter Vickers.
fucking shut up.
To be fair though, Cameron Carter sounds good.
Aye, well, aye, is that
He sounds like he plays in the
Is that not
NBA.
his dad's name? Cameron Carter.
I don't know. I was going to say Vince Carter, but it's definitely not Vince Carter. That's for sure.
Fucking dunking on everybody.
Aye.
Right, anyway, next question. Anthony Devine asks, Cam, I'll come to you first. Out of all the players currently away on loan, who's the best chance of having a future at Celtic when they return? If do you want me to get a reminder of who's out on loan?
Preferably, aye.
Because there's a
I
couple
feel like
that
there
actually
isn't that many.
slip my head because Sorrow and all that's out on loan. You forget there's actually
Barkey.
still here. But Barkey, of course. Where's the oh, here we go. So loaned out right now at the moment. There's Vasilis Barkas, Toby Olabayemi, Liam Scales, Asasio Regide, Uno2, Adam Montgomery, Ismail Asoro, Liam Shaw, Yosuke Deguchi, Mikey Johnson, Johnny Kenny, and Albin Ayeti. So there's 12 players out on loan. For you,
The only one that maybe sticks out with it might be Montgomery, but only because we have seen him under Ange. Also, he did play a couple of games, get that vital assist up at Pittodrie last season, and the 2-1 win. I would like to see him, but obviously I think that's more. I think it's just because Burnaby hasn't quite lived up to that level, and obviously, if he was to come in and be the understudy to Greg Taylor, it's not a bad second
Okay.
choice.
I think that'll be a position we look at in the summer. Left
back.
back again. We need somebody that's going to challenge Greg Taylor as good as he's been.
Yeah.
He can't be too comfortable in that team.
So who would you say it? Is there any of the
I think
loan
just by process of elimination, it's Mikey Johnson,
right, okay.
because a lot of these guys just won't make it.
For me, it's none.
None. I was going to put that out there, but I needed to pick one, you know. I wanted to give an answer, and
I'd
I
love
feel
to-
you've given one.
I'd love to see the Barkas redemption arc. I would absolutely love
Only
it.
you?
Not only me. There's an avid Barkas fan club.
Of what? 2? 3?
Listen, there's an avid Barkas fan club.
Is there a big group chat that we don't know about?
Aye, it's like a cult. You know?
The first thing about Barcast clubs, you don't talk about Barcast clubs. No wonder.
So behave yourselves, right? Okay, hell. You wait till he's back. He's Eredivisie keeper of the year, this boy.
Have you seen the standard of Dutch goalkeepers?
I've seen one getting sent off in front of my very eyes.
There you go.
So Barca, I'd love to see the redemption arc. All about Yemi. Do you see that fucking shot he conceded in the first game of the
Imagine.
season? Oh, Jesus! Jesus!
So he's not.
It's
So he's
there,
not
there.
He's not the Messiah.
Oh. Have you seen it?
Nah.
Have none of you seen it?
No, you need to send that
It was a couple of weeks ago. Opening game of the season. Oh my
Just for
heavens.
Cork, aye.
Oh aye. Opening game of the season. Terrible. Scales not good
He had
enough.
a bit of a shocker against the Rangers B team as well.
Yeah.
I remember.
Origide. O2.
He had a good game against Betis, have you know?
O2's a decent wee player, but he's not going to make it at Sellik.
He's
I
only
don't
got 6
think.
months left in his contract.
Montgomery, don't know. Sorrow,
Nope.
Shaw,
Nope.
no. Ideguchi would be shocked. Johnston, I think he's got potential, but I just don't see him getting back.
That's a
into-
news story. He's
back in the
declared
team.
for Ireland.
Ireland, yep. Johnny Kenny, don't know enough about yet. We need to wait and see, and Ayeti's not going to get the chance either. So I generally do think none. No disrespect to any of the guys in the list, but I just think none.
Only problem is there's a couple of these clubs that won't buy their player.
Oh no,
That-
of
that
course,
on-
of course. But
The only one that I think would maybe get bought out of them is maybe Sorrow for Aruka.
Yeah.
And does what's his name not play for them as well? Ebui Kouassi play for
Does he?
Aruka as well?
Aruka.
Well,
No. Right, okay, next question. Ryan, I'll come to you first in this one since I think I'm first last. What was the best cup final in it's Rogic scoring. There's not even a point in
yeah.
asking it.
I think we get asked that every week. But do you know what I like talking about?
Aye. So I'll ask you this one. No, Kevin Twist. We're going to do a full podcast on that, so no, I'm not asking it. So I'll ask you this one.
Okay, third time.
Matthew, may be difficult to avoid recency bias here, by the way, but who would you choose between Encham on his day, Stuart Armstrong in his prime, or Rio Hatate, his current ability? And Matthew picks Hatate.
Hatate, yeah, I'd agree. I think he's better than both of those players.
He's better than Encham. I think.
He's got a higher ceiling than those two as well.
Yeah, Callum, who would you go with at the three?
I think it still has to be Hatate, doesn't it?
I don't think there's recency bias in that one. I think
Nope.
Hatate's a special talent. And I thought Armstrong was a special talent as well. But I think that you just look at both of them at their absolute best, and I think Hatate's already been better.
I'd agree.
I really
He
do.
runs more games than those
I
two
loved
have.
Armstrong, and obviously over the course of his Celtic career right now, I'd maybe still say Armstrong because Hatate's only been here a year. But get another year, and I think the conversation's blown out the water, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Best away ground pie. It's got to be Kelly.
It's just a standard, isn't it?
Standard. I love a Kelly pie.
Albion Rovers ones were alright.
I can't remember them, to be honest.
Hamilton as well was okay.
Yeah. Jack says thoughts on Venoms.
Brown
I'm
at the
off them
time, terrible the next day.
I really
There's
think
not in fact there is, like, there's a set amount that you should have. If you're going to drink them, you've got to limit yourself to 2 max.
They'd send me mad ways.
3
They say,
same
if I have 3,
bad. If I have 3 or 4 and I've got a small body as it is, that's as if it's going to make me bigger or something, like the Hulk or something. No, I'll get a small body. I'm a lightweight, it hits me quicker. No, I'm purely on the cider now when I go on nights out, basically.
Cool.
Apart from the vodka Red Bulls I had with yous.
Cider. Don't look at me, I wasn't drinking vodka Red Bulls, don't say use.
No, you're drinking everything else, but
I can't remember what I was drinking.
exactly.
To be honest, mate. Why am I drinking vodka Red Bulls? That would be unlike me. I don't like
You're drinking some.
I don't
You're
like
drinking
vodka
lots
nor
of-
Red Bull. So it would be a bit
Do you like
odd.
a vodka Red Bull?
I don't mind them, aye.
It's a weird one because you
Can't
get the
remember
high
this.
and then
Don't
the low.
talk to
and
me
it's-
about the other day. I don't even want to think about it, mate.
Exactly.
Gone, mate, gone.
We got a nice picture out of though.
But, well, some could say nice. My face is up.
Kieran's face.
Didn't see Kieran's face.
Did you not? Have you not seen it? Have you not zoomed into his
No,
face?
I'd have to go back and look at it. Was it bad?
He's some boy.
I need to go and look at it. I'll look at it in a minute. Is this season disappointing if we don't win a treble at this stage? Personally, I feel this season is more impressive than the last in regard to the style of football and how we're playing. So if we don't get the treble, I wouldn't be as downhearted as some would maybe be, says Zach.
I think it would definitely be annoying if we don't achieve
Yeah.
it, more
Yeah.
so due to the fact
Just frustrating.
essentially, obviously, touch cherry wood, we've got a double as it stands.
Aye.
But you don't see us dropping 12 points over
Aye.
the next 12 games. So it's to then be in that position, and then also you would like to imagine, obviously, we get by next Saturday, nick up, and then we'll look at it from there.
Yeah. Take a game at a time. A game
Absolutely.
at a time. Will Abada most likely be gone in the summer? We'll talk about
Potentially.
It could be. Depends what offers are there, if there's any.
Aggressive transfer policy. That means our players will be in the market.
Yeah. Who is the best chanter on the podcast, and what's your karaoke song?
Chanter.
Don't mean to. I like.
You a chant? You are a
Listen, I
chanter.
don't mean to blow my own trumpet, but I think the answer is. You're looking at.
You are fucking woeful.
Oh, away and shite. We all know. We all know.
Definitely
You know, I'm a humble man.
Definitely the
I'm a
life
humble
and soul
man.
of the pub. That's for sure.
Listen, you give me a karaoke mic. Listen, I was performing encores in Santa Ponza. They wouldn't get me off the stage, mate. Wouldn't get me off the stage.
Love that.
Loving it. What was his name? John. Shout out to John. He's a Hearts fan. He won't be watching this. John Hearts fan.
You are lost, mate, if you're watching.
He returns. He hosts the McTavish's karaoke in Santa Ponza. It was one night I was on for an hour straight, man. Brilliant.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was outstanding.
Families with Waynes, like, get this cunt
we
off.
old woman coming up and say, oh, "Can you do this?" Of course I can. Then give me a fucking mic. Brilliant.
I'd say I'm a good chanter.
Would you?
I went to that Cosmopol a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, did
Absolutely.
you?
I'd done
Yeah, that's
7
the
Days
one.
by Craig David.
Oh my god, that's
I
a
know.
weird one in the karaoke. That.
Mate, the crowd was going wild. Mate,
What is right? So karaoke songs very quickly. Like I've got a book, as Callum will know. I sing fucking whatever. But if I was to, my always one is the Tommy Burns classic. It's Mac the Knife. That's
a
like
good one.
That's my go-to. Aye.
I love it when he does it.
Aye,
It always
right.
puts a smile on your face listening to him.
So
do it.
yours is what? Normally, what would it be?
Hotel California.
All right, okay. Callum, have you?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen you in the karaoke though.
No, I don't often get my sound states enough for it. Yeah.
I don't even need to be honest. I've done it sober. But
Probably no. Yeah.
if you had
I,
to
don't-
pick,
I like to try and get somebody else up, so it's
A
no
duet.
on me. Aye.
Aye.
SOS, ABBA. There you go.
oh, there you go. Oh, next question. Thoughts on ABBA? There you go.
Fitzy doesn't
Jack.
like ABBA.
I know. I've noticed that. Aye.
That's a weird one.
Aye. Listen, I can understand people think they might be a wee bit overplayed here and there, but they're just class.
That's the reason why. There's a reason why they're overplayed, because they're so good.
Yeah, they're the kings and queens of disco.
I mean, Mamma Mia 1 and 2.
I've only seen the first one.
You've not
Phenomenal
seen the
films.
second one?
Phenomenal films.
I've only seen the first
Get it
one.
watched, mate.
I'm in
Unbelievable.
my movie kicking it, and I saw aye.
Lily James.
Oh, I went to see her newest film the other week.
Oh, so you're telling us.
Don't.
Just don't.
Just don't. Mate,
Not even
don't.
if you're a Lily James fan.
Oh.
I think Lily James would have turned it off. The way he explained it.
Imagine.
Oh.
Is that the one about the arranged marriage?
Yeah, yeah. Really bad, mate. Really bad.
I seen an advert about it. I was
Terrible,
like,
man.
oh, what are you doing, Lily?
And the lad says, ran out of questions to ask you, and since McGinley didn't say my question out last week in the pod, I'll ask you this. Any good stories for Sunday?
Meeting a couple of the players, that was about it, wasn't it? That nice.
Just bumped into a couple of them.
Did
Jota
indeed.
in shades
Well,
at 3 o'clock in the morning.
3 in the morning, aye.
No, they were all sound, to be fair.
Aye.
They were all great. Stopping to talk to us and that.
Aye.
I think Alistair Johnson might be the nicest man in the city.
Absolutely.
Aye. I wish I was there. I boosted to get McDonald's. So
Which is, it's funny because Alistair Johnson's such a nice guy off the pitch. He's
Aye.
a horrible wee bastard on the pitch.
Aye.
You just see that face he was making after Cholak basically shat himself. He's loving every bit of that.
what a
signing.
rightly fucking so. Favourite Pringles flavour, says Max.
Ready salted, sorry.
Salt and vinegar.
Something boring.
I'm bored, unfortunately.
Mine's is probably sour cream and onion, or whatever it is nowadays.
Sour cream and chive.
whatever fucking flavour it is. That's probably my favourite. Has there been a game that's broken their support this much? Oh, there's been a few. There's been a
A
few.
broken lot.
David Turnbull, has Kieran all been spotted since Sunday's victory? I've not surprisingly seen him.
I've seen him either.
Since Sunday, but he is. We can confirm he's okay. He's in a fine state as well, as far as I'm aware. He's just not here this evening.
Kieran was in good form on Sunday as well. It was good to see him. It was
Aye.
good that everybody was out. It was nice.
I didn't even know you were there because I turned up. So basically, I'd stayed somewhere else. They all went out. I didn't know what.
Yeah, we do hang out sometimes. That's just the podcast. Yes, I do get invited sometimes.
I was avidly avoiding them. That's why I wasn't there.
That's
No,
that.
but I wasn't on my phone or nothing. And I said to my other mate, I said to Kieran, I was like, I go to Murphy's and meet up with the rest of them or whatever. Like, cool. I walked in. You're all right. I was like, what the fuck you doing? I was like, what is that? I never even expected to see you. It was nice.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Well, do you think it wasn't nice?
It was a nice night. It was good. It was good fun.
I know it was actually. I really enjoyed it. That's the only fun in life now is Celtic boozes. Genuinely,
Those are the best boozes after a cup
aye.
final win
Yep,
because
yep.
everybody's just buzzing. Everybody was singing the Rio Hatate song every 5 minutes. It felt like it was absolutely brilliant.
and to end it off,
Oh,
AJ Celtic
oh!
thoughts on Starfelt's now deleted, by the way.
He didn't mean it, did he?
Thoughts on Starfelt's Instagram post. Personally, I feel he's embarrassed the club, the fans, and the entire nation of Sweden. What a sad little life that he has. He's shown all the grace of a reversing dump truck without any wheels on, and I, for one, demand an apology. So, context may be needed. Are Carol Starfelt and our girl Jacinta an
What's
item?
her second name?
Gab,
That's a long one. She's
Yeah.
Australian.
Yeah, I know that. You know that. I fucking tell. You think I didn't.
I didn't really know.
Nah.
I looked up.
Anyway, are they an item? Does it appear that way?
It seemed that way, didn't
Yeah,
it? It's I would say it is couple goals. Pardon the pun. Couple goals. Although one of them scores more goals than the other, I would say.
Yeah.
She's a striker, so.
Aye.
No, they were away. Was it that golfing place that they all seem to go
Topgolf.
to? Yeah. I've drove past that a couple of times.
Aye, brand new, innit? Brand spank new. So, basically, effectively, she has broken the hearts of many a Celtic supporter, Karen. Are you one of the broken-hearted fans?
Nah, I'm buzzing for Starfelt.
Aye,
Get on.
aye.
I'm half and half.
Love him.
I love Starfelt, to be honest. And we didn't really even talk about him. He was unreal.
Oh,
that
he was
Cruyff
brilliant.
turn in the box. I've watched it.
Right enough.
Oh, absolutely. I was shouting all sorts after he done it. I was like, what the fuck are you doing with that? But looking back on it, it's a thing of beauty.
That is. So that's that. Sorry, AJ Celtic, for your loss. We hope that you recover.
Did they ever have it?
Well, no, but don't be disrespectful. Don't be disrespectful.
And thanks to the hoodie as well. Cheers.
Oh, it's a cracker, aye.
It's good, innit?
It's a good
I'm,
one, aye.
I'm bloody living in it this week.
The new t-shirt's nice as well.
That's lovely.
Aye.
I'll need to get one.
Right, quiz time, and as I said, I'm actually taking part in the quiz. So, yeah, excited. And Ryan McGinley will be hosting said quiz. It'll be me against Callum Craig in this end of episode extravaganza. So Ryan, I will hand the reins over to you.
Okay, so I'll ask you if you want to go first or second.
Do you know what? I'm going to go first.
Okay.
I'm going to step up. I'm going to get it out of the way, and I'm going to go first.
Okay, so who? So it's a question from Sunday.
Right.
Who set up Kyogo's first goal?
Oh, you bastard! I watched the highlights today, I know, for some reason. Oh no! How have I forgot? Is it Greg Taylor?
Wrong.
Oh, you bastard!
He did cross it in, but Dyson Maeda got a touch, so he gets the assist.
Did he get a touch?
Aye, I did. It came across on live score. It was on live score. He said that he,
Pish.
Sorry, mate.
VAR, that's shite. Ah,
So Callum, this is to go 1-0 up. Who came on as Celtic's first sub on Sunday?
Oh,
There's two people
I
that
think
came
when we
on.
made the changes, aye.
There's two people who came on first out of those two, if you can remember.
it was Celtic's first sub.
First sub.
I'm not cheating, by the way.
No,
don't
no,
worry,
on
I'm
you
not
go.
cheating.
Was it? Oh,
Liel Abada.
Yeah, the better
came
is
on
what I
later,
need.
and then 2 minutes later, aye.
So,
Right, okay.
to get us started,
Right.
let's just say the quiz has
I
started
did
at
get
this point.
started at pish. My damn assistant, my
Oh,
arm.
you were wrong.
I had Mary a touch on the board and fucking my
How,
did.
he was good at the weekend. How many Rangers players were booked in the cup final?
Oh, for fuck. 2.
Wrong.
Oh,
There was about 5 in the
Six.
last 5 minutes.
6. Mate, I can't remember the last 5 minutes.
Lundstrom, Kamara, Kent, Barisic, Cholak and Cantwell.
By that point,
That's the only thing that Cantwell done in that game was
By
get
that
booked.
point, I was singing "Que sera, sera," and then we wheeled up the road, man.
So can we get a right answer here? Right.
Hope so.
Question 2 for you, Callum. Who assisted Alfredo Morelos' goal?
None of us watched the game.
Yeah, oh, fuck.
We're just guessing here.
Tavernier?
Correct.
Oh, fuck off.
So many person that can hit you and whip something into the box.
And then down the wing, wingy, wingy, wing.
That's the worst, innit? It's the worst.
Sarah Ranger sing.
Changy, changy.
Singy, singy. Wing, wing, sing,
So, to equalise,
sing. Right.
who did Morelos lose in the box to get the goal in the final?
Morelos! Who did he lose in the box?
This is so easy.
Try it. Mate, I don't think I watched the game. Who did he lose in the box?
Yes.
Who was his marker?
Can't he mark that? Fat fuck.
It's true, but
Oh.
you're not wrong. You didn't need to say it.
Cameron Carter Vickers.
Nope.
Wrong. Aaron Moy
Oh,
Because everybody was complaining.
went under his feet, basically.
For a push.
So,
I'm having
to
a
go
stinker.
2-0 up, like Celtic in the final, Celtic's second goal meant we now have scored how many in League Cup finals? This is a flashback to last week's quiz.
Last week, because that was the one Kieran got right.
Mm-hmm.
So is that how many we've scored now? Was that the question? Sorry.
How many now?
we scored?
Yeah,
So that was 72.
correct. 2-0. Unbelievable.
You wank.
So because I remember, because we were all shocked. Kieran get
Don't
it back
get
on.
I've not got a memory. Right, I need to get these two right now. You get the two right. Oh, man.
So, this is for 2-1. Morelos to get back in the game.
Don't compare me to that fat dick. If I
probably
seen
probably
you
in
at
better
five.
shape than Morelos.
You say that one more time, you'll be in the first plane back.
Steady.
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 You say
I've got
steady.
3 envelopes. How many shots did Celtic have overall in the final, according to Flash Score? You've been done dirty with these questions.
Kieran, fucking hell.
He knew you'd choose first as well, probably.
What the fuck? How many shots did we have altogether?
Yep.
Oh, I don't know. 8.
14. 5 were on target. I wouldn't have guessed.
I wouldn't
14.
have, no, I wouldn't have guessed over 10.
That's me beat.
So, do you want to just keep on going?
Aye,
That's
keep going.
academical. Right, to go 3-0 up. This is a scudding. How many of Celtic's subs were booked?
Why should we all the numbers? Whatever happened to a good question like what's the capital of India? Or something like that.
2.
Correct.
Oh, and
3-0.
Obada. One Obada.
He's giving us the working as well. Extra marks for working. Always keep your working in. Now, Kieran said he needs to change the last category because Callum Craig wasn't on the bus. You want to hear the questions? Just
Aye, go for it.
like,
This could be dangerous.
oh my god, he's, these are really like, what do you call it, inclusive sort of questions or sort of.
Right, that's fine. Just go for it.
What red beverage in a water bottle did Kieran Sellik bring on the bus?
Did Kieran... Oh, I was going to say Kieran Old. Was he drinking red... What was Kieran... What was Kieran Sellik drinking? Was he drinking Red Mad Dog or not?
Nope.
No, what was he drinking?
Smirnoff Ice Raspberry.
Oh, the Raspberry Crush, that's lovely, by the way.
What? Ted Jesse? Is that what he was doing? I don't know how.
I'm drinking something stronger than Doug.
Shut up. Right.
What time did the bus leave at on Sunday?
Oh, fuck.
I know this one.
I'd fucking hope so.
I've got this one. Half one. Oh, it's quarter past
1:20.
one, isn't it? What? Oh, fuck off. It was half one. He's talking shite.
And you
So-
can't remember much for Sunday at all. I think I just that.
So do you want
was
your
it?
last question then?
Oh, wait, is there still one?
Yeah, because they were
right.
because Callum went on the bus.
Oh, right, okay,
These
right.
were the ones.
Right.
It's all academical anyway.
Right.
Right. How many trophies do we need to win to overtake Rangers?
I think we need what? Is it 3 more to overtake them?
Was that your answer?
Oh,
It's 4.
oh you dirty.
He's shooting blanks, man.
It's not the first time.
Oh, fuck. Seen that coming right away there.
What year was the last final when the League Cup was not sponsored by a TV channel?
I know that, I know.
That was not your question.
2020?
2019.
2019.
Aye.
Yeah,
Fucked
you don't get a point for it. You end on zilch.
Well done, Cal, mate.
No, wow. Do you want to hear what the tiebreaker was?
Go.
Go for it.
How much possession did Celtic have in the League Cup final?
52.
What's your answer?
What do you go with?
52 you went with.
Fuck them all. 53.
56.
Did you just read that?
No, of course not.
You fucking did.
56.
It's 56, aye.
56.
Well done, Cal.
Thanks again to Kieran for his work in doing the half-time and the full-time quiz. Well done, Callum.
You've won it with all the grace of a reversing dump truck. We know you.
Alright, AJ.
Right, well, that brings us to the end of today's show. I mean, I don't know how long. I've not got to hang in front of me to see how long we've
It
went.
felt like a shorter show, but it probably won't be.
Hour 6.
Wow.
Wow. Right, well, I hope you enjoy the game tomorrow. Obviously, a huge one for Celtic. I'll be back in the channel to do my match reaction. And then, obviously, it's the first race of the season in the Formula 1. Come on. Cam, who's taking race number 1?
Yeah. Well, I mean, looking for the way of the day, it was Alonso.
The
wasn't
El Plan is coming together. I think Fernando could do it, but I'll stay sensible and I'll go Max.
it? Aye, I feel that's
Max,
the safe
aye.
option, isn't it?
Aye.
I've got to keep a close eye on the F1 now.
You do. Now's the time.
That's the perfect time.
Because I
to
need, you know how it is.
Yeah. Well, enjoy the F1 if you're watching it. Enjoy the Sellik game, more importantly.
John Jones is back in UFC as well.
Yes, indeed.
UFC. Who watches that nonsense?
Who doesn't?
Me.
You. There you go.
I'd rather watch
Skeletric. Skeletric, basically.
On-
Ooh, round and round.
Should do.
It's just Formula E, innit?